Hi everyone, I'm Max. Welcome to my presentation. The name of my project is called On Paper. It is an educational toolkit that provides engaging context for students aged 9 to 12 to build STEM content knowledge along with the 21st century literacy like system thinking, design thinking, communication, collaboration, creativity, and innovation. I was born and raised in China, Beijing. Immersed in the Chinese compulsory education all the way to college. And growing up, I've always been on the receiving side of education, and I've never thought about how class was structured and how curriculum was designed. And all my life, I've only taken what was presented to me and what was presented to me in class and worry about how to pass exams, and I was only beginning to reflect on the relationship between the educator and the educated since last year. From what I remember the most as I progressed in school is that the higher level I go, classes like physical education, art classes, music appreciation were the first one to be cut down. And when we reached certain grades like 8th or 9th, these unimportant classes were replaced by other science classes. And everybody's goal was to pass the college entrance examination as if it's the only way there was success in life. And fun was never part of the Chinese education system. And our school doesn't really value artistic ability at all. So the A in STEAM education is blank in China. And the biggest misunderstanding is that society view art as useless stuff, and it won't help students to land a secure job in the future. So parents won't really encourage their kids to learn art. But I want to change that bias. Society needs to realize that art is the best adhesive agent of science, technology, engineering, and math. Fortunately, the Chinese government has now realized the unfriendly environment the current Chinese education system has toward creativity and innovation in China. So they invested a lot of money into education, and I was fortunate enough to participate in this workshop with Louisa in China at one of the most prestige schools, Tsinghua University, where they have teachers from all over the countries, from all different disciplinaries, come together and learn about the tools they can use to implement art and design into their own STEAM classes, STEM classes. And I realized what the teacher was lack of is coming up with creative activities for their students to participate. So for a long time, I focused on developing this prototype called Smash, which is a series of add-on system activity plans that will be implemented in a classroom setting. So it's a framework that is designed to smash the traditional way of teaching and provide a new system for future teaching. So these are the couple of the, I didn't call it classes, I call it missions. So stuff they will complete in their class time. So this one, for example, you start with an actual problem in society, and then you come up with a solution, and then you actually design it and then build it out. And this one, you get to team up with your classmates, and you get to design a physical game that's aimed for 4 people to play. And this one, you go back to your childhood and use your childhood drawing and make some new animation in a game, a physical controller that will control the game. And this one, you will use new materials like conductive Play-Doh and stuff like that to experiment on electricity and stuff. But it's really scattered, and it's not really, there's not a cohesive theme to it. So I kind of put that aside, and I've come up with this, and started to focus on using just paper, because it is both a vehicle for delivering knowledge and as well as the most well-used worldwide prototyping tool for every designer in the world. So what I have right now is one section of the whole series, but this one is mainly using paper to teach kids about science, which the electricity. So this is what would be in this lesson plan. So they will start with an actual nature phenomenon, which is lightning, and what is lightning, and they will be introduced to electricity, and then electricity. It's not really clear, but it says electricity was patented by nature, but human only invented way of generating it. So that's basically what science is all about. It's intellectual and practical activity encompassing the system study of structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experimentation. And this one is this is like the second page. It would be for introducing them like the history of electricity and how the Greek was the first one to start noticing, like when they stroke a cat, it has static electricity. They can feel static electricity on their hand. So like, would be, imagine that's cat and you will stroke a cat. And the third page would be introducing ways that they can experiment. They can conduct their own experiment, like how science works. Like you have to observe and you have to make hypotheses and you do experimentation and then you verify it. And if you didn't prove right, you have to do it repeatedly. This one is Benjamin Franklin flying the kite. And this one is Thomas Edison, which it's the guy who invented the light bulb, and he has a really famous quote that says, "We will make electricity so cheap that only the rich will burn candles," which I thought was really interesting. And it will, and so electricity is all around us, powering our home, like our phones, our TVs, and our cities is all powered by electricity. So basically, they will all see these kind of stuff in the textbook design, and then they will actually play with it, and they will see how it is structured, and they can tear it apart if they want to, and they will basically learn electricity through playing with electricity. So this one is a page where it teaches them about batteries and how batteries invented, and like what like connections are really important, and it's not playing anymore, but like you can see it light up, and when you press it really hard, it connects, and then it lights up. And in the text part, it will be something. It will be explanatory text about like what is current and what is electricity and the flow of electrons and what is like how electrons flow from the negative side to the positive side and blah blah blah. And basic knowledge you will learn in science classes for electricity. And so what I imagine on paper is to have two outcomes. One is the kit, and the other is workshops. So for the kit will be what we saw in the beginning. We'll have all the materials that we need to build the paper circuit, and they will have the actual textbook inside the kit, and they will actually play with it and then build their own circuit. And another one is the workshops. In order to test out whether the workshop will work, I attended last week's Playtech at DT, and I prepared a couple templates for kids to use. And here's a video of them playing, making their own paper circuit at the workshop. And you can see they're really engaged. They stay at the stand for a really long time and actually make their own paper circuit. And when it finally lights up in the end, they were like really happy. This is Jess Vivian playing. And that's one of the results. And we'll go to the next page. You guys will see. Thank you. Thank you.